I'm Chef Say. Have you ever had that happen where somebody just shows up at your doorstep and you don't have anything to serve them? Well, this is a really easy appetizer. It's a roasted red pepper dip that you can serve with crostini or even fresh vegetables. The great thing about this is once I make it, I freeze it in batches, and then all I have to do is reheat it and my appetizer is ready to go. To get started for the appetizer, I've got two beautiful red peppers here, so I'm just going to rub them with a little bit of olive oil, and then we're going to roast these in the oven. Now, I'm sure you've probably seen in other cooking videos where people do this directly over a gas flame or they roast it under the broiler. I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm actually going to cook the peppers in a lower temperature oven, about 400 degrees, for about 30 minutes. This makes sure the pepper is really cooked and it brings out the natural sweetness, so it tastes better. So these are going to go in the oven for about 30 minutes. I want to flip them once during that time. While our peppers are in the oven, I'm going to make the crostini. I've got a little bit of French bread sliced on here, and I'm just going to brush it very, very lightly with a little bit of olive oil to give it some flavor. And then we're going to broil these in the oven until they're nice and crispy and golden brown. And this will make the perfect serving platform for that red pepper dip. The peppers just came out of the oven. Take a look. They're starting to collapse. The skin is nice and wrinkled, and they're a little bit brown in spots. And because I want these to fully cook through in steam, I'm going to pick them up and stick them in a bowl and cover this tightly with plastic wrap and let them steam for about 15 minutes. They're going to be a lot easier to peel and seed once they're steamed. There we go. Once your peppers are nice and cool, you can go ahead and peel and seed them. Oh, that's perfect. They're really nice and collapsed, and they're totally cooked. So just take out that seed pod center, and then very carefully, using your fingertips, just lift off the skin and set that into your discard bowl there. Beautiful. I wish you could smell this. It smells so incredibly good. Once you've gotten these all peeled, just go ahead and tear them up into strips and then put them in the food processor. Now, I know you may be tempted to run over to the sink and rinse these off, but don't. There's so much flavor, and once you get all the skin off, you won't need to rinse them. There we go. So let's just go into the food processor. To finish our dip, all we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of goat cheese. And I don't want to add too much because I really don't want to cover up the flavor of the pepper. So we're just going to add a little bit. That's going to make the dip nice and creamy and smooth. Going to add a little bit of lime juice, fresh lime juice in there, because that's going to give it a little bit of acidity that's going to brighten the flavor. There we go. A little bit, if you want, of hot pepper sauce. I think that adds just a little bit of a kick. Some olive oil directly in. And you can also do this in a blender if you want to as well. And then, of course, we're going to want to season with a little bit of cracked black pepper. And, of course, a couple pinches of kosher salt. There we go. Now this is ready to process. So just process until finely pureed. There we go. That is perfect. So I'm going to taste, make sure it tastes good. Could probably use just a little bit more salt. So I'll add another pinch of salt there. And maybe a little bit more lime. Squeeze that directly in. Remember, cooking is about being creative. And if you want to add something that's not in the recipe, go ahead and do so. There we go. That looks perfect. So if you want this dip to firm up, I would go ahead and put it in the refrigerator for 2 hours, but I'm going to serve it just like this. So I'm going to pour that into the bowl. Look how beautiful that color is. There we go. And then I'll serve this with my crostini, or like I said, you can use fresh vegetables. That would be absolutely fantastic as well. There we go. And you have a fresh, easy, and quick appetizer that anybody is going to love. Happy and healthy cooking.